Usually you'll come across these really large boulders in these streams through the end moraine. These are termed glacial erratics. So you can see this one. This is behind the environmental science building in the intermittent stream. But it's pretty good size. It's about 5 foot side to side, maybe a little over 3 foot tall. So it's a glacial erratic. Look back at the rest of the stream. There's a little bit of water in it this time of year, but it's not flowing that quickly. We'll see if we can find any more glacial erratics. There's a couple in the west property, they're just huge. Today, we actually saw a large boulder in the stream. I referred to it as a glacial erratic. Here's another glacial erratic. We're on the end moraine, Mississinawa moraine. The river's not terribly far away. You can see the size of this boulder. The power of ice. It's about 6 feet across and maybe 4 feet high. Gives it a little bit of perspective. This traveled quite a ways on the glacier. There's a couple more in this section of the woods I might be stopping at later. Really pretty phenomenal boulder. The ecosystem in the background is mostly a second growth, mostly shagbark hickory. A little bit of walnut in here, a few walnut trees, and a lot of dead elms, mostly gone. So back to the glacial erratic. We're about 500 meters from the last glacial erratic. This one's not as big, but it was still moved here by the glaciers. So it's about 4 foot across. I don't know how deep it is in the ground. It's probably quite a ways in the ground. You can see on the north side here, there's some moss growing. Pretty sparse understory. There's a south-facing slope. Most of the overstory is hickory, as you see. Hopefully the camera picked that up. That was a downy woodpecker. And here's that glacial erratic. And I'll walk over here and I'll kind of show you all these different undulations of this end moraine. And this is a tributary that flows into the Mississinawa. So there's several large rocks kind of embedded in this part of the end moraine. In fact, if you look down in the stream, I don't know if you can pick it up with the camera, there's a large boulder right in the middle of the stream. Wash that's going into the Mississinawa River. And once again, you see these large boulders, these glacial erratics that have been moved by the glacier. Kind of walk down through here. Pretty good sized rocks in general, but these guys are really large. So we're on the moraine once again. We're now going down to the Mississinawa. Once again, we find some very large boulders. So this guy right here. And then old trash as well piled through here. These were all carried by the glacier. See all these pretty heavy duty rocks here along this bank as well. We're on our way up the same draw. A large boulder here. The power of ice and water. This one's about 5 feet across, maybe about 3 feet tall. These are a little smaller. You can see where they piled some old fence in here as well. That's a glacial erratic. Get a little closer here. I'll kind of swing it back around so you can see where we've kind of come from. And this wash goes down to the Mississippi. It cuts through the end moraine. A lot of May apples here. Been a good year for May apples. And there's an elm tree right beside them.